Greetings and welcome everyone to Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, which is a weekly tarot forecast for the signs of the zodiac as arranged by their elemental association. And this reading is good for today, Friday, April 3rd, till next Thursday, April 9th. And as you can see, I am holding the mirror of Hathor, and Hathor is sort of like the Egyptian version of Venus in a way. So I give you that. And also, too, we are showing you from the Cartouche deck the Hathor card. And that's for an inspiration for today. And I realize that a lot of us are stuck at home or stuck in our circumstance. But remember, there is always a guiding principle. And we have to try to be good. I think there's a saying about the mirror, to the will to cause harm invokes its own reflection. So practice reflecting better things. That's for everybody. So we're going to get started. And of course, we start with our air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And they tend to be a little bit more intellectual kind of minded astrologically, or not as emotional perhaps. So these are trying times though, so anything can happen. And as always, we start off with a word of the week. So our word of the week for today is for the air signs is immortality. Immortality. And of course, it's number 13, which is actually in many decks the 13th major arcana, which these are derived from that tarot or a tarot, is death. But death is immortality. It is also change. So keep that in mind, air signs, that there's a lot of change going on and you need to apply those principles of transformation to your life, especially as it concerns the realms of the emotions, because as I said at the beginning, or maybe didn't quite say, this reading pretends to show what's going up or down in the emotional lives of the signs, what kind of things you can see happening, what trends are going on, what currents may be there, what undercurrents maybe are not quite there yet, but you'll get a glimmer of those perhaps today. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle and start with you guys. And as always, remember that tarot card readings are a snapshot in time and are provided as entertainment only. We do not pretend to tell the absolute truth about the future, but we hope that these card readings give you an insight into the trends that are going on and that possibly you can make effective changes on. So we are pulling our cards, and they are the Prince of Cups, which is upright. I'll put that one over here for now. And Temperance reversed. And then the Three of Swords reversed. So what do we have? So the Prince of Cups is a card about the emotions. It can be very emotional, perhaps. In most decks, the Prince would be analogous to the Knight of Cups. So what this pretends is for the air signs is there is the coming or going of a matter involving the emotions. Maybe there is an emotional charge put forth in the sense of some chemistry developing in a relationship. This is not necessarily, if you have a primary relationship, one that overtakes that, unless you're seeking to do that, perhaps. This just means that there are some interestingly emotionable, available, or attractive people to you, or that this situation is coming forward. And be careful about that, because what I see is temperance reverse. So it may be that what I'm perceiving a picture of is that perhaps this headiness, perhaps of an emotional entry into your life, may provoke you to some ill considerations or some immoderation in how you are reacting to that or working with that. So you may want to check that, especially if this interferes with other important relationships like a primary one. So I'm wondering about that. In fact, perhaps, I don't know, this is kind of an odd one to end up here because it's the Three of Swords reversed. And that's going to tell me that to some degree there is some healing going on over a parted relationship. So maybe for air signs, this whole thing is really about coming to terms with how a relationship ended and possibly reawakening that relationship, maybe studying our foibles, if you will, leads us to a reconciliation or at least an acceptance of these things, a chance to move on. So I don't know, that's kind of heady there, but remember the immortality card as your word of the week, and apply that and maybe see that it is really about the huge forces of transformation, and that maybe some of this is really a destiny that you have to accept and work with. So that's what I have for the air signs. And we're going to move on now to our fire signs. And fire signs are Aries and Leo and Sagittarius. And they tend to be with those transformative aspects, and they maybe are quicker to change in ways both good or bad. Maybe they're fiery tempered in some sense of that. Maybe there is a lot of energy there with fire signs. So what is their word of the week? Well, their word of the week is evolution, and I am not surprised by that. Fire signs may be looking at applying the principles of evolution to their lives. That may be because they are fire signs, there is immense transformative energies that are around us right now, and maybe fire signs are the best suited to kind of work with that and be ready for the changes that are coming. There are a lot of changes, so we have to think about all that. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle the cards for the fire signs. Whoops. What did I drop? I dropped strength. I think I'm going to keep that. And it is kind of a fiery card. It has some Leo qualities there. I kind of like that. The bossed kind of figure there, standing there by the lion. So I'm only going to pull 2 more cards, because that's one card there that I feel good about keeping. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the top card and the bottom card. The top card is the King of Discs, reversed. And the bottom card, oh dear me, is the Tower. And that one's upright. So this is a bit concerning in a way. There's a balance, though, aspect here between the Strength card and the Tower card. suggesting to me that you are possibly aware of what the tower's implications are, and you are marshaling your forces. This is going to be a really powerful emotional week for you. You may find that there's some big changes going on in your life. I personally know of people who are struggling with issues of not working right now, providing, or issues of realizing that maybe they will be losing their jobs if they haven't already, issues of feeling that their jobs are working to hurt them, or that there's some greater lesson or purpose involved with their job, but they just going to need so much strength and fortitude to get through that. And then that king that's in the middle there, that king of discs reversed, well, to me, that seems to indicate state power or a certain level of power, perhaps very financially related, governmental powers of some sort, that is not working correctly, that is withholding material aspects and financial support at this time. And so I think fire signs are really looking at that as an emotional issue in their life, that they are struggling with some big issues coming through that involve them working with very limiting conditions and very challenging conditions, and needing, to see all that strength. So I hope that works out for you guys. Remember the evolution card as your word of the week, and know that all fire signs are evolving at this point, because they may, in fact, be the ones who really are going to be working the hardest to move us towards transformation of the society. And in some ways, I really think that that's what's at stake here. That literally this virus is redoing almost all of society in a certain way. So now we're going to move on to the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Water signs are naturally more at home in the realm of the emotions. They tend to feel emotions perhaps a little bit more strongly within themselves than other signs, that kind of thing. They also tend to be, each of them in their own way, those three signs I named, somewhat more intuitive, and especially about emotions within themselves, or the emotions of persons or situations they're with. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to give them the word of the week. And the word of the week is resurrection, or as it is sometimes known, judgment. And what does that mean? I think this card is suggesting that water signs are going to be doing a lot of inner work this week. They're going to be looking at their emotions, and they're going to be feeling a lot of depth, and especially about the prospects of the future, and about how our soul's evolving. And even though the fire signs had the evolution card, this card here, resurrection, really does talk a lot about spiritual evolution as well. So I think we're going to see that with the water signs. They're going to really immerse themselves into those kind of concepts, and maybe some water signs play the roles of healers in their communities or within their context or situation. So I think we're going to see that a little bit too in this next week or so. So without ado, we're going to go ahead and shuffle the cards for the water signs. And I'd like to briefly draw your attention to the bottom of the screen and remind everybody that TFT Tarot for Today, me along with my wonderful partner Banshee, also do a live stream on Thursdays, like last night, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also on Sunday afternoons from 2 to 4, and that's also Eastern Standard Time. We give out free readings and have a lot of interesting conversation and camaraderie. So join us if you can. Check out our YouTube channel for lots of other kinds of special content like this or other things. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the cards and read for the water signs. And of course, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much if you do. And our first card is the Six of Wands. Reversed. And then we have the World reversed. And then finally, we have the Princess of Discs, and that one's upright. So, the Six of Wands, reversed. Water signs are very unmotivated right now, are very much feeling the sense that they are at the whims of fate, that they are not really able to master a bit of their destiny right now. And so to some degree, they may possibly be in a holding pattern. I sort of see that with the spiraling colors here of the World reversed, and get the feeling like there is a sense of a holding pattern that is unique, never kind of encountered by most of us in our living memory. And of course, people are saying that the current situation likens itself to the last time there was such a huge global situation that impacted the entire world, and that was World War II. And even people like my mom were a child during the early parts of the war, at least, and don't really remember much about it other than what they were told afterwards and what they remembered from afterwards. But I also see, too, that there's a sense of persevering here that's going to happen, and that we're going to basically be able to unite around that with the Princess of Discs, who is kind of like the Page of Pentacles in a way. And what I think that means is that we're just going to find that focus, especially the water signs, but everybody will a little bit, I think, and we're going to figure out what we need to do to bring vision back, to bring perseverance, to bring some clarity back. There's a dreaminess about this card, but it's a dreaminess that's in the service of a visionable goal. And I sort of see that there with the World reversed. We're not going to let these problems get us down. We're going to just try to pull out of that slump and do that. So that's what I see for the water signs. And I hope that is a good card for you. I hope that resonates. So now we're going to go on to our final card. And that is the Earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And so out of all the signs, they already tend to be a little bit more grounded and less given to emotionalism to some degree. Their emotional outbursts or considerations still tend to have a sense of even keel, kind of like not overly reactive. They may get emotional, but they may know also too to sort of, watch for appearances or whatever you want to call that. So Earth signs, what is your card, your word for the week? And I think that is the one, love and desire. So I think with Earth signs, especially in the realms of emotions, some of you Earth signs are actually quite sensual, or at least within your secret universe you are. But I think Taurus and Capricorn are anyway. Virgos are a little bit more secretive about that. Anyway, that's my opinion. But you're going to be feeling that. You're going to be feeling this week is a time for you to maybe put a little more thought into that. Spring is coming, and maybe that's what it comes down to is we're all looking at these situations and saying, time's wasting. I need to show and put my love into action. So what do we have for you signs of earth? You qualities of steadfastness and loyalty and determination. What do we have for you? Whoops. Alrighty. And we have the King of Cups upright. And we have the Magician upright. These cards both go with that other one, Love and Desire. This is kind of like powerful here. And then we have the Emperor reversed. Okay, so that one doesn't quite fit the pattern. Which of these do not belong? But generally, there's something really interesting here because, like I said, your word of the week is love and desire. And like I said, I got this feeling like maybe, it was time to sort of open up your heart and let somebody in or let somebody else see your heart, find your heart. And of course, that's really mirrored by the King of Cups. So maybe this means the idea of either you are becoming that person, that kind, loving person, or that this person is coming to you, this person who literally loves the world and wants you to love it with them. And maybe there's something just magical and destiny about it because there's the Magician card, and the Magician is the card of will and creativity and force and power. And I'm thinking this is you making that attainment move. This is you saying, I want this and I'm going to go for it. Or this is somebody else looking at you and saying, I want you and I'm coming for you. So either way, I see this strong thing happening to you. Even if it doesn't happen in real life, there's these thoughts and energies that are there, and it may be just the kind of thing that it's going to only build toward the future. Keep that in mind, that maybe certain persons or contexts or situations are the key towards this, especially if you are indeed looking for someone to share your life with. If you already have that person in your life, this could be just really talking about how that love is moving to something new, and maybe all the things we're going through right now, whether we are in a primary relationship or not, are pushing us towards some deeper understanding. The whole idea about the King of Cups and the Magician, powerful cards. And yet at the same time, I end up with the Emperor reversed, and maybe the thing I have to say about that is that you cannot really control your heart, and that there is no control on what you really feel from your heart. You might have the willpower to go towards what you want, but your heart does what it wants to in a way. And so it may be that the love you seek is not necessarily the love that will come to you. I don't know. Food for thought. There's only a few other ideas that I could get from that Emperor reverse, and I could just be saying that it is the beginning of that happening in this week, and that there will be some ups and downs, or there's some sense of surrendering your control in the situation. Although you are able to see and vision and devise your plan, you have to surrender something when it comes to the heart. You have to surrender yourself to being loved and to being able to love. I think that's what it is. So that's what we have for you guys, the earth signs. And so that kind of wraps up our week for Oberon's outlook on the emotional exchanges. I hope that was really helpful for you. And I hope, too, that you will tune in next time. Remember to watch our live streams. Remember to look for more content. Thank you and best wishes. Till next time.